Hi. Okay, so this was a twin flame healing. And basically, what a twin flame is when your soul is born, if you want to think of it that way. Keep in mind, I have 26 letters of an alphabet that I have to create words and sentences to explain concepts that are really, you know, difficult anyway. So, a twin flame would be so when your soul's like born, when your spark is split off of the universal consciousness. It's the easiest way that I can explain it. It splits in half. And so the two halves are what you'd call twin flames. Um, so it's the same soul, but just split in half. It just makes the game here on Earth more interesting, more fun in a way, um, more painful. So with that pain comes greater opportunity for learning and evolving towards love. Now, twin flames don't often um, come in at the same time. But if they do, it's because they want to experience exponential growth. So there's a lot of books written about twin flames, which I don't recommend any of them. I'm glad they're all written, and I'm glad people are talking about it, and I'm glad that people understand that there's this phenomenon going on. And I do believe that there are more twin flame pairings in this lifetime than normal because of the exponential growth that we're all going through. And I did a video about, um, people who are ready to evolve and people who want to live, want to tell themselves and create that they live in a perfectly evolving universe and everything's happening in their highest best interest. Those people, there's it's nice to have the surfboard to help you take that energy and evolve with it more quickly. But a lot of us, our twin flames are in physical life at the same time. So we have this opportunity for exponential growth, but with that kind of opportunity, there's usually a lot of pain associated. So in general, there's three reasons twin flames can't be together. One is like 30 or so age difference. Another one would be that they live in other parts of the world. And then another one is one or both are already married. Now, the twin flame pairing that I did this healing on, they were not born in the same, they were born in different parts of the world, but they found each other. What you have with the twin flame pairing is a push-pull thing. So it's not like a soulmate. It's not like I have to be with this person. What it is there's a natural, unconditional love in this pairing. And that's really what you're meant to see. That's really what you're meant to experience. There is that, because of that unconditional love, there's often a pull towards, I want to be with this person like on every level. I want to be like completely give myself, be with this person. But then that can get scary, so you back off. So I'm not going to recommend any books because I'm glad all those books are written and I'm glad the information is coming out. But those books are generally specific experiences that those people have had, and I think it can get kind of confusing if, let's say, you meet your twin flame and you have that connection and they're married or they're on the other side of the world or they're 30 years older or younger than you. Then you read one of those books and it's like, then you see, oh well, it's this relationship doesn't qualify, so that's not what it is. When it is your twin flame, it's just that it's not going to follow the same formula as the person who wrote the book. It's not that easy. You're going to have your own trouble, your own fun. So, okay, that being said, this healing was done on a twin flame pairing. Okay. So, twin flame healing, not all it's written is true. It's just people's experiences that are important to relay. Twin flame pairs come in for exponential growth. And they have had other lifetimes together. But then often they're not in physical life together. And I feel like my twin flame cheered me on from spirit while I was going through my horror show in my life. And then was born after I was not suicidal anymore. Is it very interesting? But anyway, so this is how the healing came through. Twin flame work is specifically about not running agenda on other people. What does that mean? Unconditional love. No matter what that other person does, how they use their free will, whatever choices they make, you are to love them unconditionally. You find the thread of energy that loves them anyway. Feels better to love them. And then, so I don't know if you saw the movie Brave, but the main character, Merida, follows these little white wisps through the woods. And it was like, they were easy to follow. And so this point was that with your twin flame, it's going to feel better to love them. Which means you have to figure out how to think that causes you less pain. Okay, now the key to this is, one example is that your relationship with your twin flame does not have to resemble what is normal. These are the chains that bind, this normalcy. So the twin flame relationships are not going to conform. So like I said, it could be 30 years apart. That's going to look really weird. You could be, one could be married. And I'm not saying you have to be together physically, sexually. Just allowing yourself to love your twin flame and understanding that it's a spiritual relationship. It doesn't have to be a physical relationship, but it is a spiritual relationship, and it serves a purpose. And the purpose that I think is important that it serves is it shows you what unconditional love really feels like. Because we'd like to believe that we have unconditional love for our children and our spouses and our family. But when you feel real, natural, organic, unconditional love, then you can compare it to what you think that you're doing with unconditional love. And you can say, oh, now I see that I'm running agenda on my children, my spouse, my father, my friends, So the twin flame pairing is important because it helps you release your agenda. It helps you see what unconditional love feels like. There's so much freedom in unconditional love. There's so much, you just allow the other person to exercise their free will, and you don't have to be with them. Now, once the unconditional love starts, you often want to be with them on every level, like I said, and sometimes it's not doable, because maybe one or both of you is married and you're happily married and you have children and you want to stay in your marriage, and it's inconvenient to love someone on the outside of your marriage unconditionally, or someone through much older, much younger, and it's really uncomfortable. But the thing is, when you just let go of that you have to be married to the person and love them that much, and you're not allowed to love anybody else that much, when you can just allow yourself to just be unconditionally loving, this pair that I did the healing on happens to be in a position where they could have a relationship. But that doesn't make it any easier. Okay. So the easiest way to make yourself comfortable when you're dealing with the twin flame stuff is to find the thread of the energy that loves them anyway, because it feels better to love them. You need to figure out how to think that causes you less pain. Okay, your twin flame relationship doesn't have to resemble what's normal, because that's the chains that bind. One of our mutual friends, so I'm talking to the woman in this relationship. I'm going to talk to you all the time unless I say he. So one of our mutual friends, Indotera's mother, is very religious and gets frustrated that our friend doesn't conform to showing up at church, looking like she's supposed to, when she's supposed to. This mother fears what others think of her daughter, our friend, and fears what they think of her as a mother, because our friend isn't conforming to these unwritten rules created by someone else, enforced through patterned behavior by generations or sheeple. Now, So now, like, so we're experiencing a revolution right now, which is amazing if you have a surfboard. It's like, and you're ready to evolve, and you're like, oh, come on, let's just move towards love. Now is about challenging status quo, waking people up to the multitude of choices available to them, and you're part of this movement. Generations ago, life just was keeping oneself alive. It took so much energy that no one almost talked about the law of attraction, manifesting, and creating because there wasn't time. Now we have to talk about it. Now we have to challenge what we think we know and see. Does it feel like your relationship starts to go off track when you try to turn it into something that exists already? Like trying to make it fit into a box? Does it feel unsettled because your ego needs to define it? My friend broke up with her partner. ... drama ... She missed her partner ... Okay. People are... okay, so I have a friend who was in a... If you looked at it from the outside, it was kind of an unhealthy relationship because they lived together. They broke up, and my friend, her friends were like relieved, like, oh good, you got rid of that relationship, it wasn't healthy for you, blah blah blah. But she missed her partner. So right now, so because of the old paradigm, people are throwing the baby out with the bathwater because their relationships aren't fitting into conventional old paradigms. That, through evolving towards love, the evolution is breaking down the old paradigm to birth a new, more expanded one. This friend, her partner wasn't perfect or even rational. It's a very jealous individual, but my friend missed this person. She was like the bacon pieces on a salad. And what that means is so your guides have access to like my brain and my experiences, so they can put things like this into my own context. And I have to explain. So when I was forced to work on my diet, when I felt like I was allergic to everything, the only thing I could eat was lettuce and onions. And at one point, I got to add bacon. Not a lot, just a tiny bit of bacon, just a sprinkle, and it made salad like so good to eat. Just that tiny bit of bacon. And so I told my friend that she needs a sprinkle of her old partner in her life. Not full time, not moved back in. Like I can't go eating a pound of bacon, but I can have a little like sprinkle of bacon. And if she treats her old partner like a sprinkle of bacon, you know, maybe hang out once a month or every 2 weeks to enhance her life. So you guys need to figure out how you can make the love between you the most enhanced. So this is what it is. It's not up to anyone else to define it. Okay, your love is like a candle flame outside in the wind, and it's your team building exercise to keep it lit. You will hold up your hands and put your bodies to block the wind from blowing that candle out. Your relationship is no one's business unless you get into relationships with other people. You'd need to be honest with those people. But your relationship between you two, shield it from the wind of other people's bullshit and weighing in. All they can offer you is help. Okay, and then I don't know if you know who Osho is. Osho. He's an enlightened guy from India, and he talks about how bad helping is. Help is just like, people don't realize what they're doing when they help. Okay, all they can offer you is help to fit back into the old paradigm. So that's what people are doing. People are trying to help you back into the old paradigm. But your job, your like spiritual job, is to change the paradigm right now. Change it. And and when people try and help you back into the old paradigm, there's parts of your body that scream no. There's parts of your body that's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. All right, you know what it does? Your ego throws up a confusion. It's like a block, and that's when you're like, oh, and you lose your energy, goes out the window. And you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. So you are part of the change happening to help people grow by seeing more choices. Your angels say, what are you missing here? Not like how are your needs not being met, but like, look at it. Look at what you have. You're missing out on seeing what you have. Like, you're not seeing all the beauty that's right there. What are you missing here? Look for what you haven't been seeing. You have only been asking questions to yourselves and each other to the point of deciding which old box you fit into. This is scary but highly rewarding. But we want to tell you now to stop looking for your relationship to resemble an old world choice. If you want to get married but live in different homes, okay, live together but not get married ever. Okay, there's I think he's a life coach, and he's hilarious. This guy named PJ Sears. He makes a good point about open relationships. If you can't handle one relationship, if you can't make one relationship work, don't try having two at the same time. But you guys need to figure out to what extent the other person enhances your life. So how much bacon to sprinkle? The whole time blocking the wind of other people's bullshit to blow out the candle, which is your relationship. Okay, so here's some hints. You cannot use old paradigms. Okay? And you cannot listen to people like our friend's mom, who's religious. You can't listen to people who come from fear. The people you'll want to listen to are the ones that bring up... Okay. The people you'll want to listen to are the ones that bring up the baby and just don't realize the perfection that is that baby. The strength, joy, ability to love, the perfection. Those people who come from fear truly think they are advocating for the baby. So we need compassion for them. Compassion is love plus understanding. Okay? I have an aunt that really upset me after the Sandy Hook thing. And through this healing, I understand it more. Okay, so we need to understand that those advocates, these people who think they're advocating for the baby, and I feel like they're in your family, are trying, and trying is not doing. They're trying to help. Have you ever noticed that when people say, I'm trying to help you, that it's usually after they pissed you off somehow because they were helping in a way that felt good to them, and it was not at all helpful to you. Keep that in mind. Just block these helpers out. So he has helpers too. And it feels like his side might even be worse. Because women always think that men can't see what's going on in their own relationships. My husband's family tries to help him when they don't get that he's working on listening to me when I'm communicating. It looks like they want to run my relationship, but they think they are advocating for him to help him get his way. So, my husband's family, they think they're taking his side and helping him get his way, like to steamroll me, when he's just trying to listen to what I'm trying to say. And then we communicate and we figure out what's best for everybody, all four of us. But his family wants him to get his way. It's so they try and fight me in their attempts to advocate for my husband. Okay, so you have these people. He has people like this who are advocating for him okay. So my husband's family, they think they're advocating for him to help him get his way when he hasn't made up his mind yet about what his way is, because he's not running an agenda on me. He's more highly evolved towards love than they are, yet they still help, which again is not helpful. To people like you guys, me, and our friend with the religious mother, other people need to be shut out almost completely. It's like we are scientists trying to figure out how to keep an asteroid from destroying our planet, and they let a field trip of kindergartners in to ask a bunch of questions when we're trying to work on something important. You two work together and apart. Here's your homework, okay? You need to do these things called sentence completions. And I want you to do these into a voice memo. I know you have a cell phone. So if you have a voice memo in your cell phone, you're going to do these things called sentence completions. You're going to close your eyes and you're going to do a sentence completion into the voice memo, and then you'll write it down later. Okay, so here's your homework. Each of you individually, not in front of the other person. You're going to answer these questions, and I want 6 to 10 fast answers. You're going to say, all I know is that the way I feel about you is, so it's going to look like this. All I know is that the way I feel about you is that I love you. All I know is that the way I feel about you is that sometimes you hurt me. All I know is that the way I feel about you is this. All I know is that the way I feel about you is this. So 6 to 10 fast answers. Number 2, all I know is what I really want is. All I know is what I really want is to be happy. All I know is what I really want is to be calm. All I know is what I really want is to. So 6 to 10 fast answers. Number 3, all I know is the way I want to feel in my life is. Again, 6 to 10 answers. All I know is the way I want to feel in my life is. And the last one, 4, all I know is I need this. All I know is I need blah. All I know is I need. So keep saying the sentence and then you fill it in. Okay, now for the 4th one, all I know is I need. There's no limit, no minimum, no maximum. But really, like, do it. Okay, then you're gonna get together at some point and set the time aside. Don't just like do it on the fly. Okay, so set the time aside so that you do the homework at a time, because you're going to meet the next day or whatever, and then have a time set up, like at least an hour, a couple hours, set aside so that you can, when you set the time aside, you create an intention, and the intention is going to help push more energy into what we're trying to do here. Okay, so you're going to get together and share the answers. Okay, after you both share the answers, and when one of you's talking, the other one's quiet. No talking in between. One person goes and shares everything. Let them just completely. Okay, and then hug, do whatever feels right, but don't speak for an hour. So you can even set a timer for 1 hour. Just be together. Just be together and relax. Don't listen to music. Don't watch TV. So you're going to share your answers. He's going to share his answers, and then you're just going to have an hour where you hug, you cuddle, you can look at each other, but just don't talk. Just let everything kind of, okay. Just be together and relax, like you're baking a cake. The 8 answered questions are the ingredients, and as it bakes for an hour, sit quietly together with a journal or a notebook and see what comes up. So you can write, let your spirits work together on the information. You may have to do this, or you may want to do this a couple of times to go deep, get to deeper information and better nuances to have your relationship enhance your life. And you may come up with your own questions that you want to do this with. So you may say, okay, these 4 were good starting points, but we got somewhere. But I want to know this, I want to know this, and I want to know this. So let's do that for tomorrow. Okay. All right. Your relationship it's wired to enhance your life. It's meant to enhance your life. It's supposed to enhance your life. Right now, it's causing more pain than it really needs to. And that is not you guys. That's extraneous crap. Okay. Egos are easily triggered into saying, this is too hard. It shouldn't be this difficult, and make you think you should give up. This is what creates the back and forth. Okay? I think you watched the other video with the pendulum in the neutral space is where the healing happens. So, you need that pendulum in the neutral space. He needs this. I need this. Okay, how can this relationship be useful and serve us? Then, remember, it is evolving toward more love, so it will keep shifting. So you can't keep the rules in stone. You'll need to nurture the relationship and make little changes to keep it on track, keep it serving you. It's like a baby now. Just when you get the hang of what it needs change to keep things interesting, growing, evolving you too. Love you. Okay, so you both need lots of tapping. Both of you need a lot of it. So you have so much pressure you're putting on yourself. I feel like a lot of it comes from other people, and I'm not sure of your age, but age generally comes with a mental pressure. So I suggest that you do like I'm gonna do, and just decide to live to be 120, so then you have more than enough time. Because what happens is you get into your 30s, and I don't know how old you are, but as you move into like 30s, there becomes this pressure that you need to figure everything out. And you also have a baby, and so there's pressure there too, even though there isn't really, because that baby's phenomenal. That baby is more evolved than any of us. So it knows what it's doing. Okay, so you've got to tap and relieve all the pressure that's on yourself. You got to let go of all that pressure. That pressure is going to make you, this is too hard. Make you push away when you don't really want to, just because of the pressure that you're allowing that's not real. Okay. He really sees you. You need to stop there. Like a groom's face when he sees the bride for the first time. I saw my friend Russ, who was with his girlfriend forever, but when he saw her on their wedding day for the first time in a wedding dress, walking down the aisle, it was totally different. Okay, so when you just look at her, when you just look at her, she's so beautiful. When you just look at her, and you don't have any pressure to figure out what you're supposed to do next, it makes it all easier. That's why the beginning of relationships is so much easier and free-flowing. People just don't put the pressure on themselves. They just are. Pressure creates a back-and-forth dynamic that sucks. It builds. Ego says, this is too hard. Shouldn't be this hard. Then you push away. Then that gets painful. You come back together. Maybe you feel you need to apologize. Drama, drama, drama. And a cycle is born. This relationship works best when you just see each other for the first time all the time. So try and go to that place when you saw each other for the first time. Oh, good. Good, so tap. Okay, so your relationship works much better. It works best when you see each other for the first time all the time. Like a perpetual first date. Some people will say you can't have that, but they are wrong. There is so much love, patience, peace is capital letters and underlined, which means it comes through with more power, more strength. So there's so much love, patience, peace, fulfillment, joy, capitals again underlined, ease, capitals and underlined. In that state for you both, it's a higher vibration. And I think you know about vibration, but when you vibrate at higher levels like joy and love, you have a calming effect on everyone around you because you're part of the collective. So when you're a higher vibrational state, you bring everybody up. So staying happy isn't just for ourselves. It's, to raise the vibration. And I mentioned this in a couple of videos, but they did an experiment where they took high vibrational beings and they just put one per city and the crime levels dropped. So it's a big deal. So you guys together, the two of you together, if you could keep your relationship as if you see each other for the first time all the time, like a perpetual first date, no pressure, the peace, love, patience, fulfillment, joy, and ease for you both is going to more positively affect everyone else. When fear of how to keep that going or what we are supposed to do now creeps in, wrecks it. It's like a perpetual first date, but the answers to how is your day, how are you doing, what do you need or want change daily. Keep up with the changes. Keep up with the new answers. Allow the answers to change. But you need to bring back the ease, the joy, and the peace and stop strangling the freedom for your relationship to express itself through two willing participants like you were in the beginning. When you start to worry about yourself and the other, and then you try and force decisions to be made, kills the lifeblood of this relationship. Enter baby. The baby anchors you two together in a healthy way. There's real potential here to show people how to keep freedom, ease, joy in their relationships by just taking away what kills those things. Okay. So you're like, quote, I don't know, which is a great and healthy place to be. When people think they know, but they're wrong, they create a mess and they stick to that mindset, sure of whatever they're saying, making everything worse. And I see a lot of that right now in the hashtag resist brigade. Resistance causes so much pain. You are so beautiful inside and out. And this uncertainty is also beautiful because in it there's allowance, there's surrender. Allowing things to move forward because I'm not sure, but I'll trust a little and see where this goes. You are practicing allowing, not from a powerful place, from a meek place, but that's fine for now. The lack of resistance is causing you less pain. So you are doing better than you think. Much, much better. So this, I don't know, but I'm not sure, but I'll trust a little and see where this goes. You're so beautiful and you just don't see. You just really don't see. And hopefully he can explain to you what I'm talking about. You're just so easy to be around. You're easy to listen to. You're easy to be with. It's the lack of resistance. Okay, I can't even deal with resistance people these days. I don't think I even talk to any of them right now because it's just like their pain and I feel it. So you have you have lack of resistance causing less pain. So you're like easy to be around. You're easy to talk to. You're easy to hug and love. For me even. Okay. All right. So you're doing way better than you think. See the beauty in your I don't know, so I'll go with the flow for now because it's apparent to me. It's apparent to me. The opposite of it is the hashtag resist ugliness. Okay, so the hashtag resist ugliness causes tremendous pain for those in that wave, and also makes people who aren't in that group turn away from the negativity to preserve themselves and their own joy and peace. It only attracts others who want to fight them. It attracts people who want to resist their resistance through the law of attraction. So what they're vibrating out, they're getting back. That's why there's so much fighting going on. But the peaceful majority turns toward love. It's true. If this weren't true, we would have a world that looks like the movie Elysium, where everybody's fighting over scraps. The more the peaceful majority connects with spirit and recognizes the power in their peacefulness and recognizes that they are the majority, more people want love, joy, ease than want to fight. The more we can see that we are actually evolving toward love. The vocal fighting minority has the peaceful loving majority thinking that they, the peaceful loving majority, are the minority just because they're quiet. So that is just what's happening right now. All right. See if you can change the meek and beautiful I don't know energy too. Ready? So it's meek and beautiful, but we're ready to push to I live in a perfectly evolving universe. Everything is happening in my highest best interest, even if it is painful, and so it is. Stamping your little energetic foot as you demand this from the universe. You can shift the meekness into power, grounded passion. There's a huge amount of peace. And I don't like to thump the Bible, but sometimes passages, like words go, the meek shall inherit the earth. This doesn't mean that the meek inherit the earth by staying meek. Imagine if all the loving souls like you start creating with this thought. I live in a perfectly evolving universe. Everything is happening in my highest best interest, even if it's painful. And so it is. Imagine if all the people who just want joy, love, peace, ease, who have no inclination to fight or hashtag resist, just sort of like, well, I don't know, and I'll see where this goes. All the people like that, oh, let's see where this goes. Hold this powerful thought of I live in a perfectly evolving universe. Everything's happening in my highest best interest, even if it's painful. Imagine if all the people like you held that. And they all shift into their own version of power, grounded passion, and peace in their hearts. It'd be amazing. It'd be like a huge dust cloud cleared. We'd be able to see more of what's happening and take care of any disgusting behavior and things that we don't like, anything that's not towards love, anything that's non-loving. We'd be able to see that. And it's not that you wouldn't recognize yourself. Because I remember before I went to healer school, I knew it was going to be a really big thing. And it snowed and my car didn't work. And so I had to drag 3 bags of garbage a couple miles to a dumpster to dump it at the post office. The lady said that I could. And I remember walking for miles with 3 bags of garbage and thinking that I was afraid that I was going to come back from healer training in the desert and have a weird name, like change my name to Grass, and like not want to have my shoes anymore, or like not recognize myself. And my spirit said, you know, these bags of garbage are like what you're bringing this to Sedona with you, and when you get to Sedona, you're just going to be putting the garbage in the dumpster, and when you come home, it's still going to be you. It's just not, you're not going to have as much garbage. You're just going to drop off your baggage. So it's still going to be you. You're still going to recognize yourself. And so this is a really important lesson for you, because when you shift that meekness into a peaceful, grounded passion, and you're going to feel like you, but you're just not going to, you're not going to feel like out of control and like you fell on water skis and you're still holding on to the rope and you're getting dragged behind the boat. You're just going to be like, well, okay, well, I'm strong enough that I can handle whatever comes my way, whether we're together or whether we're apart. You won't feel like you're getting blown around in a windstorm. You just be like, you know, holding onto a big bowling ball in the ocean. You're still going to move, you know, but you're going to stay pretty much like, feel like you're not, it's not so dramatic. I hope I explained that well, but we're going to talk on the phone. Okay. All right. So if you imagine all people like you started creating that 4th level belief of living in a perfectly evolving universe, and then it's like a dust cloud clears, and then we're more empowered, and then we can see like crap that we'd like to put an end to, whatever that is, and then we'll just be able to do it in a more empowered way, in a more rational, more grounded way, less emotional. I watched these 2 people on YouTube today fighting. I saw both sides. I always see both sides. And there was so much anger that it took them at least 45 minutes to get to the first point, that without the anger blinding them from the conversation, they could have gotten to where they agreed. There's 2 points that they really agreed on, but they couldn't get to it just because this anger was in front of them. And if they had just calmed down and had a normal conversation, which I can understand why they didn't, because I could understand, I knew what, you know, I could understand what happened to both of them. So, but within 15 minutes, they could have arrived and said, okay, well, we agree on this. Let's move to this. Now we agree on this. Now, make the apologies and be done. But, you know, if people like you start shifting into a powerful place and into an empowered place, and the new norm would be for people to calm down. You know, because if people like you and I are like the ones creating this, we live in a, you know, perfectly evolving universe. If more people felt that way, there'd be less people in the fight that's going on now, and there'd be more people just going, everything's fine, dude, just calm down. Yeah, we have things we need to do. We all know there's things we need to do, but fighting each other isn't getting us anywhere. All right, so if more people like you stood in their power, the new norm would be people calming down more quickly. Anyway, at least they might still like have reaction, of course, because nobody's perfect, but they would calm down much faster. It's not like the Dalai Lama gets upset, but he doesn't stew and fester. He feels it, releases it, and then smiles. Okay, you cannot be empowered and a victim at the same time. There are people whining about hangnails, and beyond them are people suffering with real conditions. There's a movie I gotta send you. I'm gonna need your email address, but it's called The Human Experience. There were these lepers in there, and they were smiling, but they could use some help. There's a hospital in that movie that needs money and new exercise equipment at the very least. We allow the people who want to complain about hangnails, but we look past them to see where our energy is better spent. Your relationship has all it needs to prosper because it has the two of you, and you're both amazing and beautiful. Beauty is actually a power because it can command attention. If the two of you figure out how to make this relationship enhance your lives, people will be able to and want to look at how you are doing it, and you'll be able to give them the freedom and the way to have their relationships work for them in a more powerful way. It's very exciting. This is the part I was telling you about that's like, what I can feel when I'm doing the healing is, it seems so normal, and I write it down, and then when I think about it later, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to sound crazy to people. It's very exciting. You have all the ingredients you need, but it's easy to get wrapped up in the hangnails. So you don't have to become empowered. So if I have a hangnail and it hurts so much that I can't write my book, and I get wrapped up in that hangnail, and I can't wash the dishes because my hangnail hurts, and I can't clean the house because my hangnail hurts, and I can't make dinner because my hangnail hurts. That's not empowered. I can't take any action steps if I'm wrapped up in a hangnail. Okay? So people are getting wrapped up in little hangnails. And that's fine. It's so they don't have to become empowered. Even when I lived in my car, I wasn't a victim because I was lucky to have a car. So then I did the pranic healing clearing. And the energy at the fourth station was very thick and dense. Let me see if I drew a picture. Okay, well think of, I didn't. Okay, so imagine me. So first station is like straight down the middle, second station is like here, third station is like here, and fourth here, and then fifth station is, okay? So at the fourth station it was very thick and dense, which is family and friends, or your perception of what they think is clouding the beauty. The beauty of your relationship is always there. You just can't see it when it's clouded up, like an actor made up to be hideous in the beginning of like a 90s movie. And then she's beautiful, you know, she's all nerdy or whatever, and then or 80s or 90s movie. Okay, the world at large wants to see how you can make this relationship work. So the world at large is like what I call the fifth station. So you're not even dealing with the world at large yet. You have no concept of what that even is when it comes to your relationship. The world at large wants to see how you can make this relationship work. It doesn't mean you have to stay together. It doesn't mean you have to get married. It doesn't mean you have to even be together. It just means access the love that exists under all the illusion. The love is real. I have an old friend. I love her, but I don't talk to or see her anymore. But the love between us is real. We have the way we do it now, we do through text. We maximize the love. We both love each other, but it's just not enhanced if we communicate on a deeper level. We're doing it exactly the way it needs to be done right now in order to enhance both of our lives. Okay? And I love the line in the Sex and the City, just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it wasn't the greatest love story of all time. Oh, that's so true. Okay. And then, does he have a younger sister or a cousin? There's worry about your relationship as a negative example to a younger female in his family. There's one in particular. This is just people, wind, bullshit from older people, from old paradigms. You have to let that all go. You two provide an example of a choice. The only thing that it does, your relationship, is expand her and other people's worldview. I remember when I was tiny, I felt like the Bible was incomplete because I looked at all the boys' names in there and I said, wait, so girls didn't have anything to say? And I also, when I got a little older, I felt that divorce was left out of the Bible. And I feel like divorce is an expansion of a family, not the destruction of it. And it's like If you imagine being a kid, and I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. Oh my God, I'm not saying it's easy for kids to be in divorced families, but I know people that got divorced and now they're remarried to other people, and now these kids go back and forth between, and these kids have two different examples of relationships and how to live life and stuff like that. And a lot of times when people stay married and they don't really want to be anymore, one person is angry or resentful or can be hateful sometimes, but they're not living their life to their potential. And then often they can get divorced and either be by themselves. I have a friend who's divorced. She travels all the time. And it's like she's showing their child, a totally different way of living than if she had stayed married, because her ex doesn't want to travel all over the world. So anyway, so there's two examples, and the law of attraction provides contrasts through these two things. So kids can look at, so you don't have to be married to each other. You don't have to even continue a intimate relationship, But okay, the onus is on you guys to be as loving as you can be. Then the relationship will create joy and ease, however it turns out, together or apart, or back and forth. And it will serve its purpose for your growth. Okay, then there's a course I want to talk to you about. Much of the positive impact you'll have, you won't see. It's like you guys are a boat, and the wake you leave behind, the wake is what's going to hit people. You guys just focus on the three of you. Nothing, and no one else needs to understand. It's like lottery winnings that you're not allowed to share, if that makes sense. This is just a relationship healing, not a full-blown health and chakra reading and healing. So there's still a lot more pages. So this was just about the relationship. So basically I did a healing on the relationship, so I don't know if you didn't feel anything. Because physically, I did the healing on the relationship really more than you. You may need to fight, like scream, fight, cry, get really angry. You've had past lives together, and I'm doing what I can to clear those issues, but your souls don't let healers take away experiences. So you have 10,000, Jack Cornfield talks about 10,000 sorrows and 10,000 joys. I'm not allowed to take away your 10,000 sorrows so that you can just have your 10,000 joys. Healers can clear crap you've processed, like we can sweep up your garage after you've cleaned it out. But we can't just bring a 20-ton dumpster and go to town on your garage. You both have to, you both have stuff to go through and decide what to keep and what to throw away. And then I can come in with a broom after. So I was just clearing away what you've already done, and then getting this information. The majority of the harmony right now is at station 3, where the baby is. Okay, so they showed me this. So 1 is the self. So 1 is self, then 2 is us, which is your relationship, and then 3 is baby. Okay, so most of the harmony is at station 3 right now. That's where the baby is. So build on that harmony. Sometimes the harmony will be at station 1, which is the self. Sometimes at station 2, which is the relationship between the two of you. But right now it's at station 3. Wherever the harmony is, go there and build on that. Always keeping the focus on the harmony brings more harmony through the law of attraction. So don't be looking at what's wrong. Look at what's right, and bring your most beautiful selves, perpetual first date, build on the harmony wherever it is. Station 4 is family. You're both loving and you want to please your family, but he has it worse here. Imagine a kid in a movie growing up, and the kid wants to be a star in some way, like ballet or acting, and this kid's family gets nervous about their kid putting all its energy into creating stardom, and they get nervous that the kid will fail and be so disappointed that they try to gently let the kid know that he or she shouldn't shoot for the stars because they probably won't make it. They keep their dreams realistic, which makes them not dreams after all, but short-term goals. This causes the kid more pain now while trying to spare them future pain. So that's more helping. Okay, so his family, out of trying to spare him future pain, can often cause more pain. And her family is more like her. It's important for you both to know how the other person's family treats them out of love. Okay? So how does so she needs to understand and totally know how his family loves him, or tries to how his family treats him out of love for him. I have to know how my husband's family treats me out of. I have to know how my husband's family treats him out of love, so I don't take it personally. Second agreement for agreements. My husband has to know how my dad loves me, so that he cannot take it personally, not hold it against my dad, and also be able to explain back to me, hey, do you think that you're doing this because your dad this or that, or do you think you're trying to please your family by, this or that? So it's just, you both need to understand how the other person's family loves them, treats them. Okay, that's very important, because this is attachment, and you need to understand the attachment that goes from from the other one to their family. And then that's going to help you not react to the way that family treats you. Like I don't react to my husband's family, because I understand that's how they love him. This is how they're trying to love him. They do it out of love, which is attachment. They're just overly attached. They're just really, really attached. So much of it, by definition of attachment, will be painful, because anytime you are attached to one outcome, you resist the opposite the most, but you resist other choices that are valid and could be made by the individual. So I read that kind of strange, but so whenever you're attached, whoever's attached to one outcome, they're going to resist the opposite the most, but they're going to resist other choices that are not what they want, other choices that are valid and could be made by the individual. Okay. It's important for you both to know and accept. So know and accept came through capitals, underlined, that came through with big power. So you need to know and accept that they think they are being loving. Resisting how the other person's family thinks and acts causes you pain. You need to love them anyway. My dad and I say, I love you anyway. And it started as a joke. But the beauty of it is in the lack of attachment and the lack of resistance to the other person's choices and their free will. So I say to my dad, when we say to each other, love you anyway, it like takes into account that we don't like their choices, but we love them anyway. What the family at Station 5 doesn't understand is that the world at large, so the family, sorry, they're at 4, but the world at large is at Station 5, okay? What the family, okay, I wrote this wrong, I don't have a pen to correct it. Yes, I do. What the family at Station 4 doesn't understand is that the world at large at Station 5 doesn't care that much about what you guys are doing. Note, his family might not be bad. It could be his own inner pressure to make them happy. And that makes it show up to me energetically like this. Yep. Okay, so that could be it. Because they're clearing that now. So it might not be his family. It's just his own inner pressure that he puts on himself to make them happy. Or proud of him. That makes it show up to me this way energetically. So these are ties that bind. His family doesn't want to make you guys unhappy. Your family, so his family, your friends, they don't want to make you guys unhappy. They're all just trying to help. Okay? On the phone, we need to talk about a possible way. Okay, so there's a possible way for you guys to make money. Okay. It's not about money. I'm not trying to make you greedy or blah, blah, blah. And I know you're not materialistic at all. I love you for that. But remember, you cannot give away what you don't have. And I know you're not materialistic. But I'm sure if someone gave you $1 million, you know how you'd spend it to make a huge positive impact on the people that you're working with. You are in huge service where you are, and you always will be. And if you made $1 million, you would have a huge positive impact on the people that you're serving. Some things that might even save lives. So we are coming into an age where people who can hold the light are meant to manifest more than we need so that we can give or create for people who aren't able to. People whining about hangnails are creating shit for themselves. The hashtag resist crowd is making themselves into victims. I did a video on Roger Waters, and he can make $1 million in the blink of an eye, and he uses the money to make a big picture of a Trump pig baby to wind people up. Same money could have given the hospital in Peru that I was talking about from that movie a new machine or two. I think they'll get it at some point. And we'll all cooperate and graduate. That's an airline thing, so cooperate and graduate. We competed with each other. There's 4 groups in this weekend thing that we had to do. And we had our own teams, and they pitted us against each other, so we were competing. And the very end, we're all like close, and we're all trying to win, and the last thing is worth a lot more points. And we get down to the final exercise after days of this, and we have like 10 puzzle pieces, and the other 3 teams have like 10 puzzle pieces, and we all have to, you figure it out finally that, well, not finally, we all figured it out pretty fast because, well, I miss the airlines. I miss all the people that I flew with. They were so funny. Oh my God. They're like the biggest bunch of funny, smart children. Then I miss them. So we had to cooperate and graduate. So we had to pool our 10 pieces with the other 3 teams' 10 pieces to make the puzzle. So it was cooperate and graduate. And I think that, these people that are fighting and resisting and right now, I think at some point they're going to get it. They're going to understand that we need to cooperate and graduate. But right now, egos are reveling in this shared hatred that feels like love. But all we can do is love, okay? We need to love them. We need to love ourselves. We need to love our kids. We just keep loving. Every day, more people are leaving the fighting and starting to pull towards love with us. If you get tired of pulling, take a day off, okay? But always keep loving yourself. So never take a day off from loving yourself. Take a break from other people if you need to. And come back to your center. This is for both of you. I hope that's clear. Come back to your center. Rest. Nurture yourself. You're not crazy. And when you're ready, love others again. If you push yourself too hard, you won't be helping anyone. Wayne Dyer has an orange juice parable. When you squeeze an orange, the only thing that come out is orange juice. And when we get squeezed, if we fill ourselves with nothing but love, when we get squeezed, the only thing that can come out is love. So we get squeezed by other people's tantrums, other people's bad moods. So you guys need to nurture yourselves. And if you need time off from each other, take it. And if you need time off from your work, take it. You have to keep loving yourselves, keep nurturing yourself, keep loving yourself. And then just keep loving other people. I don't care if they're fighting. I don't care how hateful and argumentative and angry they are. If you're not doing this. But, so this is probably, if you let me share this video, this is probably for whoever hears it through the sharing. But, hating people who are hating, it's not the way to go. It's not productive. It's not funny. Sorry. Just love them. Just loving. The more you focus on love, the more you bring to yourself. And the easier your life and your relationship will get, even if that means you part ways. Just like with energy healing, sometimes death is the healing. With relationships, sometimes it's the highest best interest for 2 people to part. Like my friend and I, who don't see each other anymore. Sometimes it's in the highest best interest to get married. Like my husband and I. That has forced me to work on things I would not have. I would have just walked away. If I wasn't anchored to my husband with my children, I'm sure I would have walked away. But it is in my highest best interest for me to get married to that person. So you can figure this stuff out. Sometimes the back and forth is the highest best interest. So if you guys have a back and forth thing going, that might be your highest best interest too. Or it might be just for now, that's the highest best interest. The baby's little. And so you don't want to fight. You don't want to create stress in that baby's environment as it's growing up. So Sometimes back and forth might be in the highest best interest. And you can just feel where the vibration's higher. Together, apart, right now, 5 minutes from now, an hour from now, a day from now, a week from now might be different. Always just feel the vibration. Where does it feel higher? Together or apart? Do I need to nurture myself? Do I need to take time away from everyone? Or do I need to be with, do we need to go on a date? Do we need to have a perpetual first date? Just don't try. When you try, like when I say perpetual first date, I don't mean go back to where you first met each other and try and force the feelings to come back the way they were. I'm saying access those feelings that were present. You remember what that felt like. Talk about what it felt like. Just talk about what it felt like. The more you talk about it, the more you bring it to yourself. You feel it again. Your body feels it again. Okay, but remember, things are going to shift. You're evolving. So it's not going to be, you can't step in the same river twice. You can't recreate what you've moved past. You've had a baby now, so you can't go back to your first date where that was and recreate that. But you can access those feelings because they were there. All right? I hope this makes sense. We're going to talk on the phone. All right. I love you so much. You're so awesome. You're really awesome. Okay. So sometimes back and forth is the highest best interest, where you get freedom and then choose to be together multiple times. Okay? So the back and forth may be you guys choosing to be together multiple times. And there's that freedom to leave and to come back and to leave and to come back without the other person getting their nose out of joint. The only issue may be the one created when you allow your ego mind to label the relationship negatively, like unsettled. Back and forth doesn't have to be a negative thing. That's a judgment. It's an attachment to the way things should be that tells you can't be happy until we figure this out. There's no figuring things out. Everything changes. My husband and I figured things out before we got married, and then we've had to figure things out about 1,000 more times since then. So you can't wait until you make the choice whether to be together or apart in order to be happy. But you can choose to be happy now, and you can choose to allow your relationship to ebb and flow in big ways, which means back and forth, together and apart, and allow yourself to choose to be happy as it ebbs and flows. It's external constraints and other people's opinions and old paradigms that tell you that you shouldn't be happy unless it's settled, but that's them trying to blow out your candle. My friend and I, who don't speak or see each other, are still holding the candle between us because there's so much love. We text whenever we want. It's our relationship. We go through things in our now that make us reach out to the other, and when we do, there's love. So it enhances our lives the way we do it. People that love me add up the stories and think I should be done or whatever, but they are afraid I'll be hurt again, and I'm sure she has people that would caution her again against being my friend again because they add up different stories that lead them to the same conclusion. We aren't here to never get hurt or to never hurt others. There's nothing you can do to not hurt others. They will create future circumstances based on what you are doing or not doing that hurts them somehow. Carolyn Mace, one of my favorite quotes, she said, "I guarantee you someone is in therapy because of you." I love that. I trigger people all the time by accident. I just heard another story yesterday. Okay, you need to just be the beautiful, amazing, loving, grateful, joyful, capital letters, powerful, peaceful person you already are. Allow others to trigger themselves through you, living authentically. It still helps them so they can see where their work lies. But remember, that is in the wake. You won't see them change because your boat has moved on. There will be people who get it. There will be people who say, I want to be beautiful, amazing, loving, grateful, joyful, powerful, peaceful, just like her or them. I want to be in a relationship like that, with all that freedom, with all that love, with all that passion, with all that compassion, with all that joy. I want to be in a high vibrational relationship like that. They may not call it that, but that's what it is. When you guys are operating from your optimum, you are in an extremely high vibrational relationship. And you know what I'm talking about. Whatever kills that is what you need to get rid of. That's it. That sounds so easy. It's not. I know it's not. Okay. So There will be people who say, I want to be like them. And their soul will get them to that path because it has been waiting to hear that prayer. I want to be happy. Their soul has been waiting for them to witness a possibility that you guys can offer just by being what you already are. People that talk you out of it are just wrong. No judgment. They're just trying to help. They're just trying to keep you from getting hurt. They're just trying to keep you from being judged by other people. They're just trying to make you fit into the box. They're just trying to make you into what, our friend's mom, the religious person, was trying to help her have a good life and not be judged negatively and just go to church and just wear this and just be in this and do that. And everyone will accept you. It's so easy. Just do what I did. Just play the game. And our friend is like, I don't feel like it. Okay. You do you, both of you, separately and together. So this is an important thing. And this is probably part of so the homework that I gave you, but then the beauty in your relationship, the power in your relationship, like I said, you don't have to be together. You don't have to stay together, but the you being you, him being him, and then so separately and then together, how do we make our relationship serve us? What do you want to create? Okay, so what do you want to create? What does he want to create? If it's the same, if the visions match, you can do it together. Trust me, I'm married to an Italian, the youngest boy in a family, and he's 11 years older than me. But our visions match, so it works. If your visions don't match, it's probably not the right time for you to be together. But you can still create together because you have that amazing being, that baby in your lives. Oh, what's better than a baby? What do you want to create for that baby? Because remember, right now the harmony is in the baby station, the station 3, where the baby is. What do you want to create for that baby? So that's, you guys should speak about the vision of that. That's where the harmony is. So go to that plane, go to that vibrational level. What do we want to create for this child, this amazing, incredible child? What do we want to create? What do you want to create? This is what I want to create. If that vision doesn't match, you'll pull against each other, which is a waste of resources, time, money, and energy. Okay? Oh my God, you guys are showing me again. Love ya. Love ya. You can do this. You can totally do this. You just have to do it your own way. And, I'd like to tell you that you can just keep being quietly amazing, at what you're doing, but you can't. It's time. I didn't want to go talking, but I had to heal my thyroid, so tag you're it. So call me, and we'll go over this info, and I'll talk about something, because I think you guys have an opportunity to make money, support yourselves doing something that is not being done right now, and it's pretty cool if you want to, if your heart's in it. All right, I love you so much.